What's up, y'all? So before we jump into anything, Graham Plattner on Crystal, Kyle, and Friends drops Friday. Definitely check that out. We're going to talk to him about ICE murdering people in the streets. We're going to talk to him about Trump invading Venezuela and openly bragging that we're going to steal their shit. So a lot to get to. Really excited for that. Also, there's a show dropping I have later today. Definitely check that out too. But for now, got some breaking stuff to talk to you guys about. Shout out to Status Coup News, Jordan Sheridan, because he's out there in the streets of Minneapolis, Minnesota. So if anybody wants like up to the minute fucking like live stream of the protests in the streets, go to Status Coup on YouTube and check that out. And also there's that freedomnews.tv people.
Yeah,
they're always out there.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, I see their stuff everywhere as well.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to shout them out real quick as we started talking here. So what you got, Crystal?
Well, the first, probably most important thing is originally it was announced that it would be a joint investigation between Minnesota and the FBI into the murder of Rder Good. And now it looks like the cover-up is underway. The FBI is blocking Minnesota's involvement, not allowing them access to evidence, and trying to take the whole thing over. So in terms of, seeking any sort of justice and accountability, it's a very dire, very dim situation.
So there's a cover-up happening in real time, is what you're saying?
That's what it looks like.
So the FBI is trying to fully take over every aspect of the investigation?
Yes.
And that's Kash Patel's FBI. That's Bingo Bongo's FBI, but he just stepped down.
Yeah, he's back to his podcast.
But that's insane. That's insane. I mean, I have to say, why hasn't Tim Walz or whoever the police chief is in Minneapolis, why haven't they already arrested this ICE agent?
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you were a random individual who murdered someone on video, you would certainly have already been apprehended. So yeah, we still don't know even what agency this person was with.
If it was CBP, ICE.
Yeah, we don't know. Okay. We don't know what agency they were with. We don't know whether they're still on the job. We don't know where they are. We don't know what their name is. We don't know any of that. And now, yeah, it looks like the FBI is moving to cover this all up. There was also a vote in the House to subpoena all the, information around this investigation, et cetera, and every Republican voted against it. So, if their guy's so innocent and, oh my God, she's domestic terrorist trying to run him over, why are you so afraid of, any of the evidence or information coming out?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
We also have, you'll recall, Trump originally reacted saying, like, the brave ICE agent he was run over and he's lucky he's still alive and he's in the hospital recovering, blah, blah, blah. Well, when he said that, he hadn't even seen the fucking video.
Oh my God,
And so the New York Times did this long interview with him, and this was all, I guess, unfolding while he's in this interview. And so when they pressed him, I'll read from this article, when we pressed Mr. Trump on his conclusion that the victim, Rder Nicole Good, tried to run over the agent, he asked an aide to pull up the video on a laptop in an effort to prove his point. That was a vicious situation that took place, Mr. Trump said, apparently referring to what federal officials have said was an effort by Ms. Good to run down an ICE agent.
Oh.
The exchange was a glimpse into Mr. Trump's reflexive defense of what has become a sometimes violent federal crackdown. On Wednesday night, Trump stuck to his position even as we pointed out the inconsistencies in his account. He said she behaved horribly, and then she ran him over. She didn't try to run him over, she ran him over. We told the president that the early videos circulating online were unclear. I'll play you the tape right now, Mr. Trump said. Then his aide brought a laptop over to the Resolute desk to show us what he said would be evidence of the woman's wrongdoing. Before the video began, Mr. Trump acknowledged the tragic nature of the shooting. With all of it being said, no, I don't like that happening, he said before pivoting to this common refrain of criticizing illegal immigration. As a slow-motion surveillance video of the shooting played on the loop, we told him the angle did not appear to show an ICE agent run over. Well, Mr. Trump said, the way I look at it, it's a terrible scene. I think it's horrible to watch. No, I hate to see it. So that's once he actually watched the video. He couldn't.
Oh my God. So he put out that tweet
before he had even seen it. Yeah.
25th Amendment, man. Like, you got to get this guy out of there.
Can you imagine?
He's got to go.
Like, we are YouTubers. And I cannot imagine being so irresponsible as to opine in such an aggressive way without having seen the video or knowing the first thing. like, I don't know, Stephen Miller or whoever told him, like, oh yeah, she totally ran over the age, he's lucky he's alive, and he just puts that out. So, yeah.
And we still don't know the name of the guy?
Nope. I mean, not that I've seen. I've been recording shows all morning, but I haven't seen any information about who he actually was.
Oh my God. Now, meanwhile, that Adam Cochran guy, he says he spoke to 2 different people who represented officers who were involved in shootings. And that according to those attorneys, they say if this were to get to trial, the person would be found guilty, because you don't only have to justify the first shot, which there's a stretch of an argument that, oh, maybe he felt threatened in the first shot, which I don't even buy that. Put that aside. You have to justify shot number 2 and number 3. And those were from the side of the person. So there was no threat whatsoever. So it was that, and there were actually a couple other points he made too, which basically said, like, there's effectively no way this person will be found not guilty, that they should even take a plea deal. Anything short of life in prison without possibility of parole, they should take a plea deal. But to your point, if they're just like gumming up the works and doing a cover-up and using their power to basically shield this person from any accountability whatsoever, then what do we do?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know I genuinely don't know how this works. Like, I don't think that can be fully successful, because the state can still conduct its own investigation. Now, it may not have access to all the information and resources that the FBI would, but the state can still bring charges. Like, they don't need the FBI's permission to bring charges. So, I don't know how this all plays out. You could also have a situation, again, I'm out over my skis here in terms of lack of legal understanding, but where a judge like compels the FBI to turn over information, in a court case or in the context of an investigation. So I don't know, but clearly they're trying to
shield him.
Yeah,
it's trying to shield him. They're shielding him. Absolutely.
In addition, it's looking more and more like this woman was not even a protester. Like, she had just dropped her kid off from school. Which,
by the way, let's just point out, even if she was a protester, 100% doesn't justify this.
No.
Protesting is your First Amendment right. It's literally in the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution.
But it's a blow to the right-wing narrative, because their narrative is she's some, Antifa, left-wing, violent, domestic terrorist protester, and that she was blocking ICE with her vehicle, and that's why, they felt in danger from her. So even though you're right, it makes no difference in terms of their narrative.
Their narrative falls apart.
It does.
Well, they lie about everything,
Of course, yeah. So it says, in social media post, Macklin Good described herself as a poet and writer and wife and mom. She said she was currently experiencing Minneapolis, displaying a pride flag emoji on her Instagram account. Profile picture posted to Pinterest shows her smiling and holding a young child against her cheek, along with posts about tattoos, hairstyles, and home decorating. Her ex-husband, who asked not to be named out of concern for the safety of their kid, said Macklin Good had just dropped off her 6-year-old at school Wednesday and was driving home with her partner when they encountered a group of ICE agents on a snowy street in Minneapolis, where they'd moved last year. Trump administration officials painted Macklin Good as a domestic terrorist who had attempted to ram federal agents with their car. Her ex-husband said she was no activist and that he had never known her to participate in a protest of any kind.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And they called her a domestic terrorist, literally instantly. So stop and think about that, guys. That, these ICE Gestapo thugs could murder literally any one of us at any time, and instantly you have the entire right-wing apparatus going all the way up to the President of the United States declaring that you're a domestic terrorist.
Yeah.
Trying to flip it so that somehow you're guilty even though you're dead.
It tracks, too, because I know she lived just blocks away from where this occurred. So, I mean, it does track that she had just dropped her kid at school, was trying to get home, comes upon this, ICE mess, is trying to figure out what to do, and then ends up being murdered. So, even if you're, not a protest, you're being a good little girl and boy and just, letting them do whatever, that doesn't mean you're safe. You've got a Fox News host in a moment of lack of self-awareness calls the masked Minneapolis protesters cowardly.
Oh my God.
Co-host says,
you have got to be kidding
me. ICE agents are also masked, but that's for a different reason. They don't want to get doxxed.
Oh my God. Now, by the way, let's also point out, if you are an agent of the state, we have a right to know your name. We hire you. You're doing stuff with our money and in our name. You're the government, right? And so, like, for them to hide it, that is just...
And we don't even know what agencies these people are from.
Right, like you said, CBP, fucking...
ICE, Marshals, Secret Service, like, we have no idea. FBI, we don't know. And so, you know, everybody keeps referring to this person, this murderer, as an ICE agent,
Could
but
be CBP
we actually
for sure,
don't really know that. It's,
And now the, like, CBP fucking, like, strike force on the ground is on the ground there. And they're the ones who were shooting giant fucking pepper balls at innocent protesters' faces. Vortac, that's right. That's right.
I think they may be the ones that led that helicopter
in Chicago.
raid
That's right.
in Chicago.
That's exactly right.
It was definitely CBP. I think it may have been that unit because that's sort of like their special ops. And they have all kinds of like, I mean, all of these people are like kitted up in military gear, but they have like drones and helicopters and that kind of shit too.
And for those of you who don't know what she's referring to, they landed on an apartment building at like 2 o'clock in the morning in Chicago, basically ripped everybody out of their apartments and locked them up and arrested them. And like none of them were even like undocumented immigrants, never mind undocumented immigrants who have a criminal record or whatever the fuck. And they even handcuffed and threw naked children in the back of a U-Haul van.
Yeah.
Wearing like their underwear and shit. And they, again, for no reason too, by the way, let's say they took that helicopter. Like, it was just so they could record that. Remember, they were posting this video on social media. Like, it was something to be proud of.
Yeah.
They were bragging about, like, look at our fucking amazing force. Like, these are innocent people.
Put it to music. Like, this was some badass thing. It's like, no, you just destroyed the lives of a bunch of poor people. You know, I mean, it was this, like, derelict apartment building. They were probably called in by the landlord, who is a slumlord. In any case, disgusting stuff. So I think that I think it was that same unit that did that raid. We've also got Border Patrol in a video pepper spraying kids, pushing them in the snow at a local high school. Oh,
that's right, the high school thing. Yeah, so they were by the high school and the kids were outside and they started assaulting them, shooting stuff at them. I mean, this is, again, to your point from yesterday, the like living in two different realities thing. I don't know how you overcome that. The fact that now 40% of the country will justify and rationalize shooting tear gas at high school kids.
Right?
You know? Like, I don't know how you overcome that.
I don't either. I genuinely don't either. Throwback to Stephen Miller at 17 years old saying torture's the way to go. Torture is a celebration of life and human dignity during the Iraq War.
You know, the point about that goes to they're lying, they know they're lying, they don't care. Like, the whole point is to lie and fuck with you. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what that's about. Because he doesn't actually believe that. It's like he's saying that to like troll and get a rise out of people. And now these guys have all the power. They exercise that power. They do the most evil things imaginable, but then they fuck with you as they're doing it. They gaslight you as they're doing it. They flip reality directly on its head. I don't know if you have JD Vance's tweets there, but oh my God, the shit JD Vance has been on.
Let me see if I can find it.
This motherfucker, just every post is. He went from originally saying it was a tragedy that this woman was killed to calling her like a far left radical extremist. And it's like that. As soon as the marching orders came in, as soon as the right-wing hive mind, go ahead, you could read
So the first, I mean, both of the posts were terrible, but in any case, at one point he said, correct, you can accept that this woman's death is a tragedy while also acknowledging it's a tragedy of her own making.
My God.
Don't illegally interfere in federal law enforcement operations and try to run over our officers with your car.
Oh my God.
It's really that simple. And then that was at 9:30 yesterday. Then this morning at 8 a.m., he says, every congressional Democrat and every Democrat who's running for president should be asked a simple question. Do you think this officer was wrong in defending his life against a deranged leftist who tried to run him over? These people are going to try to arrest our law enforcement for doing their job.
Oh my God.
The least the media could do is ask them about it.
Stunning. Like, no, the question the Democrats are going to be asked is how many of you assholes should be in prison? Stephen Miller, check. JD Vance, check. Donald Trump, check. The head of fucking ICE, check. Kristi Noem, check. Kash Patel, check. Elon Musk, check. All of you fucking assholes. That's going to be the question. That's going to be the question in 2028 in the Democratic primary. It's going to be how many of them should, not, hey, should they go to jail? Should they? How many of them? Because it's a foregone conclusion that a bunch of you should be in prison.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
We had some new CBS Evening News with Tony DeCopel, propaganda, state propaganda.
About
Barry
this?
Weiss's, yeah.
No shit.
Well, he interviewed the acting director of the ICE field office in Dallas about why ICE agents wear masks in the field. They wear a mask for their protection, and it's not really just their protection, but the protection of their families, Serna told Tony DeCopel. Yeah.
How? Okay. If anybody were to say that now about police officers, everybody would be like, that's absurd. The police officers have showed their face forever because they're serving the community. But now they've like carved out this special snowflake exemption for the masked thug terrorists that are ICE. And people buy this shit? Does anybody buy this shit? That a law enforcement official should be able to cover their face, hiding their identity so that they can have impunity and go around and do whatever the fuck they want?
Apparently some people do.
This Tony DeCopel guy, by the way, just such an embarrassment. Remember he did like some Marco Rubio suck-off session at the end of his show the other day?
Yeah.
He also went to Miami and like cried over how awesome Miami is, and
oh my god!
And the first episode of the show, they couldn't get it right, and he was like tripping over himself and fucking up the different segments. And
yeah, I sort of think the producers may have sabotaged him on that one.
I fucking hope so. I hope so. But yeah, now you know what happens when the Ellisons ended up buying CBS, turning it into a fucking MAGA factory and Zionist factory. They literally hired this guy because he browbeat Ta-Nehisi Coates and said that he was like a fucking anti-Semite terrorist. Yeah. And so now this guy's, and the fact, I don't know if you have seen this, Crystal, but they're trying to like make him relatable, this guy, Tony DeCopel. So they're like doing these videos when he's like just off the air or before he goes on the air where he tells, let me tell you guys how I'm feeling right this moment.
Oh my god.
And it's like, bro, you're not fucking relatable.
We don't.
Stop it. We don't like you. And this is all straight from the fucking mind of Barry Weiss. Like, I have an idea. Just like all her other genius ideas. Like, let's have Condoleezza Rice and Hillary Clinton have a conversation and post that. Fucking like 700 views, right? Alan Dershowitz versus Dana Loesch debating about guns. Who the fuck's gonna watch that? Nobody's fucking watching that shit.
Oh my god.
Fucking Erica Kirk in her disco ball outfit sitting there fucking berating Americans about how they should honor Charlie Kirk better. Like, who's watching this? So CBS, it might not matter because the advertisers might keep giving them money anyway, but they're cooked in terms of ratings because who's this for? There's already like outlets, so-called liberal outlets, which by the way are also both sides factories. We got like CNN, for example, is where people might go if that's their mindset. And you have the right-wing outlets that are going to cater to the right-wingers all the time, Fox News, etc. So who is this CBS shit for? There is no natural constituency for this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the real constituency for it right now is they're just trying to appeal to Daddy Trump so they get their like deal to go through. I mean, that's what it really is about. I mean, Ellison and Barry Weiss are also just slavish supporters and propagandists, but they also, the reason it has that extra added oomph of humiliating state propaganda, where at this moment they're actually like, I would say they're more embarrassing than Fox News.
I saw a bunch of people posting that.
Which is really saying something.
Facts, yeah.
Is because they know they need to go to that level of humiliation to get what they want from Trump. Did you mention the January 6th coverage? Did you mention that one?
No.
Oh my God.
I don't think I did.
Where he was like a group of pardoned defendants.
Oh my God.
We're at the Capitol today. Trump says they were incited on January 6th by Democrats who didn't do enough. And Democrats say it was bad.
Literal both sides factory. Literal and softening the language.
Completely.
Yeah,
pardoned
incredible.
Defendants. Yes, exactly. We also had, with regard to Minneapolis, the ICE thugs, after this woman was murdered, kind of doing a little
that's right.
Celebrating.
When we didn't have that last night, but I saw it today. I saw it this morning.
Yeah.
And guys, it's not even it's not really close. They can't even try to make the argument that it was, it wasn't what it was. It's immediately after the woman gets killed, you got these two ICE agents who are excitedly, giddy little kids going to Chuck E. Cheese. They're elbowing each other yippee skippy, we got some action. We just murdered some innocent people. Yay! There is no.
These are sick people. Genuinely
sick people. Yes, there is no.
I now understand.
You can't moderate
education camps.
Oh, absolutely. And I got in trouble for saying that shit on Josh Cittarella's podcast, but I fucking stand by it. Do you think I'm talking out of my ass here? No. What do you do when 40% of the country has lost their minds and they openly support evil. Like, the core of their politics is, I want to do harm.
Yeah.
I want to hurt people. I want to destroy people's lives. I want to do satanic shit.
I want to watch people die.
I want to watch people die. I want the president to openly go into different countries and steal their natural resources and then brag about it afterwards. What do you do with that? What do you do with that? That is literally like a creeping darkness that has taken over the minds of these people. And a lot of it stems from, I saw Hassan talking about this, when you have nothing going right in your life.
Yeah.
And you're incredibly insecure. A lot of these people vicariously live through Trump as like this fucking macho man who gets what he wants and does what he wants. And so they look at a guy who's like fucking 16-year-olds and invading countries and stealing their shit as like, oh yes, the Viking warrior spirit. It's like Nietzsche's Übermensch. That's what it is. You know, like this is, and so they vicariously live through that because they can't fucking pay their bills. Their kids don't want to talk to them because they're 3 times divorced or whatever the fuck it might be. You know, like this is what's going on. And so and by the way, ironically, all these people consider themselves Christians, right? They love Jesus, they love Christianity, but also let's have masked thugs murder innocent people in the street after they drop their kid off at school.
Well, speaking of cartoonish evil, I mean, it's like they want us to know that they're evil. There was a memorial set up for Renee Good, and ICE agents who were there were stomping on the memorial candles and like destroying the memorial.
Yeah, so they're fucking up the memorial. They go and they stomp on the candles. And I think some of them, at least based on the video I saw, I could be wrong about this, but it looked like they were like almost those fake candles too.
Yeah.
So you couldn't even make the stretch of the argument of like, oh, it's a fire hazard or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
no. And one of the guys is like, what the fuck was that? And he says like, why do you think we're out here? Why do you think we're out here protesting? Like, why do you think we have to do this? Because of what you're fucking doing right now. The disgusting, over-the-top disrespect of human life for your fellow citizens, by the way. And what does the ICE agent do? Now they're on their high horse. So he puffs out his chest and he's like, yeah, what the fuck are you gonna do about it?
Unbelievable.
Basically daring this guy. Like, what are you gonna do about it? I got the gun, I got the badge, I got the president who will back me up immediately. What the fuck are you gonna do about it? And so people need to understand what we're looking at here. This is a lawless, criminal, thug, fascist, terrorist, death cult regime. That's what it is. I don't use those words lightly. Anybody who knows me knows that the first fucking 4 years of the Trump administration, the first time in office, I was the guy who's, let's fucking find a way. We'll talk to these people where we'll fucking, convert them. We'll get them back to sanity. Maybe they supported Trump because he said some populist shit and maybe there's a real way out here. And then here we are. If at this late date in the second regime, you don't realize what's going on, I have nothing for you. I don't know what to tell you.
You want to talk about Asmongold?
I think I did a segment on him the other day, but what, we have some new stuff?
Well, I just see, I don't think anything new. I mean, there probably is something new, but I just see some videos here of him fantasizing about ICE killing people. Like,
okay,
back.
So I talked about him saying, who cares if we kill civilians to steal natural resources? So he did say that the other day. That was in regards to Venezuela. But yes, what you're talking about, somebody put a compilation together. But he did also basically say he was totally fine with this woman getting killed.
Yeah.
And he's out there making...
He did the victim blaming that, like,
right.
Yeah, she should have got, she didn't comply. Oh, here, this is another compilation of him and all of the wonderful analysis he has to offer.
So, yeah, and the fact that guy's got a giant audience, the fact that, Hassan said it, he's the lowest IQ version of Trumpism. That's what he represents. So,
R.I.P. Bozo, he said. They told her to get out of the car, and then she put it in reverse and tried to run over an officer. No, she did not, and drive away. Drive away. Yes, she did try to drive away.
So you have, the MAGA base, it kind of split into, some people are going full Groyper, full Fuentesism, right? Like openly embracing Nazi type stuff. And then there's the other road, which is like Asmongold, the lowest IQ version of Trump defense, where you giggle and say based every time Trump does some like genuinely evil shit. And I think that's who his audience is made up of. I watched a Hassan clip on this, and he was showing, somebody had watched the video first, an Asmongold fan, and they were like, yeah, that was fucked up. Like, that's fucked up. Then they turned on Asmongold and saw he was
defending
goose-stepping in Zig Highland and defending the ICE thugs, the murderers, and he starts defending it then. And Hassan knows this because you could look at the chat logs on Twitch.
Yeah.
And he read back at the beginning of the day what the guy was saying, and then as the day went on, what he was saying.
Wow.
And he was like, do you realize how embarrassing that is? Do you realize how embarrassing that is? Here's this guy, this like unshowered fucking cretin, and you're taking your political marching orders from him? Like, why? What sort of fucking wisdom do you think this guy has? But in reality, he's just a reflection of a lot of the people who are watching him. And they relate to him on some level, right? This, like, disaffected younger male thing. And, like, there's an issue when there's not, like, nobody's even trying to aspire to be better among that audience. Like, I don't want to be better. I don't want to get my shit together. I want to sit here and bask in my own fucking filth and support fascist terrorist murder of fellow citizens in the streets.
Wow.
It's just crazy to me. The other thing, and I mentioned this to you the other day too, this is a thought I haven't been able to get out of my head, is like, I wondered if the fact that she's a woman would impact the general population to one extent or another. Because here you have a 37-year-old woman. If you look at the crime statistics, everybody knows women, like, commit violent crimes almost not at all compared to men. You know what I'm saying? It's like over 90% of violent crimes are men doing it. So would that change people's perception looking at this, going, I don't know, it seems like that's quite a stretch to say that this woman, really, she was just going to, like, run over a fucking ICE agent in broad daylight with 78 other ICE agents around? Like, it's just fucking ridiculous.
When she has zero criminal record outside of, like,
some traffic tickets.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And she's this maniac trying to run over ICE agents as she's on her way back from dropping her kid off at school. I mean, it's just utterly preposterous. But it doesn't matter that it's utterly preposterous. People still believe it.
That's right, yeah.
Last update for you on the investigation front. Ed Krasenstein just tweeted this. Breaking the Trump administration's cover-up of the Minneapolis ICE killing of Renee Good is real. Bob Jacobson, commissioner of the Minnesota Department of Public Safety, just confirmed Minnesota cannot file any state charges against the ICE agent because the federal government is not providing the state with any of their evidence. We've asked for cooperation from the federal government. They do have all the evidence in the original investigative notes and reports. We have none of that. They have shared none of that with us. To be able to file state charges, we would need, again, a full investigation, which would include the opportunity to have been at the crime scene. Unless we have access to all that evidence, we would not be able to put together a quality investigation for any prosecutor.
Well, you're either going to have to try.
Yeah.
Or you got to do something.
I feel like
you can't just sit here. You can't do it.
I feel like there's so much public evidence.
That's what I'm saying. Right. You got to try. You got to, even if you just use the video from the fucking, like, you got to try. You got to fucking try. You cannot let these people get away with this. This is yet another example of, we already have seen the death of checks and balances and law. And this would, I mean, shit. As much as we've ruined it when it comes to foreign policy, internationally, there is no international law. This is domestically the total death of any semblance of law. You know,
Totally.
we saw that, of course, at the beginning of that with Elon Musk, the world's richest man, hacking into the Treasury and deleting government agencies he didn't like, deleting the CFPB, cutting pediatric cancer research and Meals on Wheels. Like, we saw that already on that front, and then now we're seeing it when it comes to literal murder in the streets. That, oh, what if I told you they can get away? By this logic, guys, stop and think about it. By this logic, they can pre-justify murdering anybody. Because all they have to do is have your ICE Gestapo thugs, Trump's personal army, his paramilitary, go out there, murder somebody, then just always refuse to cooperate with state and local authorities.
That's right.
So you just laid the groundwork to say murder is legal.
Yep.
Agents of the state are allowed to murder you. By the way, Alex Jones, where the fuck are you? Mr. Alex, you know, the deep state elites are going to come after us. They're going to take away our rights. They're going to murder us in the streets. They're going to spy on us. They're going to do mass surveillance. All that. Here it is. Here it is. And you support it because Trump is doing it.
Yep.
There's no such thing as an anti-establishment right-winger. I'm sorry. There never has been. It's not a thing. By definition, being a right-winger is being pro-establishment. By definition. They're fucking pro-capitalist. They're fucking pro-military. They're fucking pro-ICE Gestapo thugs who are criminals who have fucking 7 assault charges that just got hired last week. They're in favor of those people making decisions and having no accountability whatsoever.
Yep.
There is no such thing as an anti-establishment right-winger. Before we wrap up, I know you said that's everything that we got for the protests, but you were telling me about Trump now coming out to say $1.5 trillion
Defense budget. Yeah. Yeah, you put that in a tweet that's what he wants, is a $1.5 trillion defense budget.
And did you see he had said we're going to stop stock buybacks for defense companies, I think in particular, he said.
He said he wanted to limit their compensation for their executives to $5 million and stop stock buybacks, yeah.
So there was a big collapse among like Raytheon, Boeing, all those defense companies. Mm-hmm. And then it was immediately after that happened that he goes out and says $1.5 trillion. So it goes right back up. And so people have been pointing out, because they've done similar things in the past, where they're clearly doing market manipulation and doing pump and dumps in the same way somebody just profited off of the toppling of Maduro. Right before Maduro was toppled,
Right.
Somebody opened up an account, placed a bet that he'd be out by January 31st, made $400,000 like that, like nobody's business. This has got to be either Trump himself or somebody directly around Trump.
There was some research that seemed to indicate it may be Steve Witkoff or somebody tied to him. There was an account, a wallet associated with it that had the name Stephen Charles. Witkoff's name is Stephen Charles Witkoff. So it's not definitive or anything like that, but that's who the available evidence seems to point in the direction of.
It's somebody in the regime that's making money off these things. And they've done pump and dump type stuff before. They've said things knowing that the market would react a certain way and then shorted the market. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this could be another version of that. On top of the fact that, as you pointed out, it's just absurd to talk about $1.5 trillion military budget. This is at the same time they just kicked 18 million people off Medicaid.
Yeah.
This is at the same time they're tripling health insurance premiums for people. And now we're going to do $1.5 trillion to the military. You can't account for 60% of their money because they're fucking stealing it. This is at the same time he's giving $40 billion to Argentina, $38 billion to Israel, saying we're going to run Gaza and we're going to run Venezuela and we're going to steal the oil for the billionaires. Like, we are so far through the looking glass, bro. It is so crazy.
It is.
It is so crazy.
Yep.
All right, got anything else for the lovely people?
I think that's it for now.
That's it. All right, guys, we'll talk to you later. Peace.